Once you learn how to book ID clients my way, get ready because those inquiries are going to be rolling in. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly how to find and book ID clients, even if you haven't booked your first one yet. Hey friends, my name is Vanessa Alzate, the founder and CEO of Anchor Training, and on this channel, I help aspiring instructional designers and e-learning developers just like you get off of the sidelines and get into the game. So let's talk all about booking your ID clients. The first thing you need to do before you even start this process is I need you to tell me what problem is it that you solve. I want you to comment down below to let me know that you're ready to keep going. So go ahead, take a minute, think about that problem, and then go ahead and comment done. Okay, now that we're clear on that, let's get into the sales process. So the sales process for me is really a 3-step process. Identify, engage, and motivate. Let's start with identify. First thing, I need to know who is it that your ideal client is. You cannot be everything for everyone. I mean, aren't we as instructional designers also teaching our clients that we cannot create training for everyone? We have to create it for a specific persona. So why wouldn't that be the case with sales too, right? I know that when you first start instructional design, you want to be everything for everyone because, I mean, let's be honest, we really can create training for just about everyone. But by honing in your messaging, it helps to create messaging that connects with your ideal client, and it makes it seem like you're speaking directly to them, so they know you're exactly who they're looking for. That is what we mean by ideal client. Does that mean you're going to turn away other people that are not your ideal client? Absolutely not. But I will maybe take like a quick second look. So go ahead. Let's think about who this ideal client is. What industry are they part of? What are their demographics? What kind of work do they do? What are the problems that they are looking to solve? Where do they go and network and mingle? What kind of professional development opportunities are they looking for? Now, this identify step, I want you to really stop and really think about it. And it shouldn't be something that you can answer overnight. You might even have to do a little bit of market research in order to really understand who your ideal client is and where it is that they are going. You don't have all the answers just in your brain. You're going to have to ask them. And there's no shame in going out and actually asking for the information and surveying your ideal client. I think that we need to get out of this marketing is a dirty word type thing, and we need to just realize that in order to be able to serve our clients, we need to know more about them, and we need to be able to show up where they're at, so we need to know this information. So take a minute, think about your ideal client, and start writing down some information about them, some motivations about them, the industry that they work in, the type of projects that they would like to have completed, the type of projects that they're working on or that they would like to improve on, what are their aspirations, all of those things really to help you create your ideal persona. Now, step 2 is engage. So once I know where my ideal client is, I want to engage them. So I want to create content that is going to speak to them. Again, I want them to see my content, hear my content, and be like, damn, Vanessa, it's in my head. She's having the same thought. She's answering the question I just had this morning while I was washing my hair. So when I'm writing content, I'm thinking about, I literally think about who my ideal client is, and I picture them in my brain, and I'm like, okay, what are the problems that they're trying to solve? How can learning and development help that problem, right? How can learning and development provide a solution? What is their desired end state, right? So how can I create content that speaks that desired end state and how we can get there? Again, if you're creating just fluff that's out there for everyone, it'll resonate with a few people, but those few people are probably not going to buy from you. You want to resonate with your ideal client. The other nice thing that I really like about having an ideal client and really niching down in that way is I'm able to really learn more about their industries, their challenges, their roses, their thorns, and I'm able to start speaking their language a little bit. I can tell you, because I've heard it from clients' mouths, these are huge corporations where they have picked certain vendors, myself included, because we speak their language, because we know their industry in and out. So they don't have to worry about me me understanding their day-to-day, their language. And so that's why sometimes it is much better for you to niche down and really dive into that ideal client, because you don't have those hiccups. You don't have those things that kind of put you to the bottom of the list. Also, I will tell you, at the same time, on the opposite scale, I have lost projects that I was literally like number 2 on because I didn't have that industry knowledge. So it works both ways. You'll win projects because you have that industry knowledge, but if you start going out for everyone and not really focusing in on like your ideal client and really understanding their industry, you're also going to lose out as an instructional designer because you're not going to have that industry knowledge. So just know that both of those things happen. You'll also find that once you do that, it's almost like bees to honey. Is that the phrase? Like bees to honey. Like your ideal client will start attracting themselves to you. They'll start finding you and they will just come to you. It makes it so much easier to keep your pipeline full. Also, I'm able to then, by having my ideal client, I'm able to engage my ideal client physically, whether it's in a virtual conference, a virtual meet and greet, a physical in-person, whenever we get back to that, meet and greet. I'm able to show up where they are at. So instead of going to all these big conferences where I'm one of a million instructional designers, I can go to these smaller, more intimate spaces where I am one of just a few, if any, other instructional designers. So you really, like, you stick out like a sore thumb, but in a good way. But imagine what it could do for your business if you're speaking at conferences where your ideal client is going. Not just other instructional designers and other training people. You want to go where your ideal client is so that they see you, they remember you, and they're going to call you. Let me take a second and check in with you. How are you doing so far? Is this making sense? Go ahead and hit that like button if you think that you can start this process today. Okay, last step in my sales process is motivate. I want to motivate the client to actually work with me. It's not enough to just identify who they are and engage them. I need to find what's that motivation to get them to want to buy from Anchored Training or to buy from Vanessa Alzate. That being said, it's not like a gimmick thing. I'm not talking about like a Black Friday deal, or I'm not talking about like discounting your services. I'm just talking about finding that intrinsic motivation to want to connect with me as a human. And this is the biggest part of my sales process. I always say, I say to my team all the time, get me in front of my ideal client, get me in a meeting with them, and I will close them every single time, because it's all about connecting as humans. And that for me is the biggest part of the sales process, is how can I connect with you. The nice thing about getting in front of your client and finding ways to motivate them to work with you is I'm able to give them a glimpse of what it would be honestly like to work with me and my team outside of like just my portfolio. What's that process like? Like how are we going to connect with each other? How are you going to feel working together, working with Anchored Training? So besides the actual sales process, you can also do this through like short videos, short webinars, just posts and things like that about what it's like to work with you. Show them a behind the scenes of actually taking a project from start to completion. Show them the behind the scenes of putting together a content map. And then once you actually get them in the room, make a connection. Humans buy from humans. So you want to make that human connection with the other person. Learn more about them. Don't do all of the talking. Do more of the listening. Ask the questions to learn more about them. It also helps you with your market research every time you're in a sales call to learn more about what motivates your ideal client. So that's it, friends. That is my 3-step process that I use for sales. I identify my ideal client, I engage them, and then I motivate them to want to buy from me. So before you turn on the floodgates and start having all these clients coming to you, I want you to go watch this next video about how I set up my complete ID business. It takes you through everything from project management all the way through to marketing. Friends, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.